If you want to make sure that no high value, healthy masculine man is ever attracted to you, I want you to act just like this. That was the intro, but let me actually tell you what I'm going to do in this video. I just spoke to a matchmaking potential client because I work for a matchmaking company, and we actually just started speaking to women. So it's interesting having conversations with them. So I've spoken to 500 successful men, over 500 successful men, and so now I really understand how they think. And I understand how women think to a certain extent as well, because psychology is psychology. Human behavior is pretty standard throughout the world, no matter what language you speak, no matter what gender you are. But there are certain nuances. So this woman that I was speaking to, she was beautiful. She was clearly stunning. She clearly gets a lot of attention from men, but she doesn't get attention from the kind of men that she wants. And I'll tell you exactly why. As a high consciousness man, as a man that is emotionally aware, and I would say I have a pretty good read on people, I know exactly why this woman can't attract the kind of men that she wants. Even though she's attractive, she's successful, she lives in Miami. The reason is there's many. I'm just gonna get into it. It's gonna be a raw video. I don't even have notes. I'm just gonna talk about my experience that I just had with this woman. First of all, she was late, 5 minutes. Okay. Tardiness is a horrible quality. A high value woman has standards for herself. She has self respect. She's kind in all of those things. A woman that's low value, in my opinion, doesn't respect herself, doesn't respect other people's time. And I'll tell you a little bit more about how this woman acted. So, anyways, stick around to the end of this video so I can actually teach you how to become a high value woman. I messaged her. I said, "Are you still coming on the call?" In like 3 minutes, she replied, "Yes." And typically, if someone doesn't come after 6 minutes, we just cancel the whole call. But I was like, you know what? Let me give her a shot. I searched her up on Instagram. She's a consciousness coach. I was like, okay, this is going to be an interesting call. If you're a consciousness coach, you should at least be conscious of the time. Anyways, I um I waited and she came on afterwards, like 8 minutes late, and she was like, "Hi," not even paying attention, phone on her phone, kind of just like whatever. And I noticed, she's attractive. She definitely has like a kind of like model like look to her. But immediately I can sense that she was conceited. Immediately I could sense from her tone that she was pretentious, that she thought she was better than everybody else. And so I was like, okay. I just held my frame and I said, how's your day? Blah, blah, blah. Tell me about your dating life. She's like, well, I have none. That's why I'm on this call. In that one sentence that she gave to me, everything was clear. She didn't have to say anything else. Just the one sentence that she gave showed me why she's having a tough time in her dating life, why she's 37 years old and doesn't have any partner, and why she's probably going to continue struggling with this aspect of her life until she realizes a few things. So, I'm not someone to talk poorly about someone, but why I'm telling you this story is because I want you to understand that if you're like this, men do not want to be with you. A good man, a one that you want, the kind of man that you want that has respect, that has values, that has standards for himself, he's not going to want to be with you because his standard is to be around people that are good for them. And I'm sorry from this conversation that I had with this woman, although I wish her the best. I have nothing but care and love for everybody because we're all God's children. She's got some work to do. Self awareness is the most important thing. I don't care if you call yourself a consciousness coach or the most self aware person in the world. If you're rude to people, if you have a tone, if you're conceited, if you're late, if you don't respect people's time and show them, who you are in a positive way, then I don't consider you high value. So what are some other things that she did to represent the fact that she's maybe not as high value as she thinks she is? She cut me off multiple times while I was asking her questions. She disagreed with most statements that I had. It was more of a competition than an understanding. The goal for me was to understand if she even makes sense for our services. And I already assumed that when I gave her the price, she was going to be flabbergasted. So, cutting off, you never want to cut off people when they're speaking. It's a basic courtesy. She blamed everything on everything else. She blamed, location. She said, everyone around here, they're begging for my attention, but I don't want them. Um, when I asked for the kind of man she was looking for, she pretty much said what she wasn't looking for. So she's in the negative. She's thinking about the negative instead of the positive. She wasn't necessarily soft. She had a certain elegance to her, but it was more of like a pretentious, loud confidence instead of a quiet confidence. And honestly, like, although she is probably, if you were to just look at a picture of her, you would consider her as a 37-year-old woman for her age, probably like a 7.5 out of 10, like attractive, in great shape, everything. As soon as she says something, or as soon as you feel her energy, it goes down to like a three. And for me, for example, if I was single, if I was looking for a woman, I would not want to be with a woman like that. Because after 30 minutes on a phone call with her, I felt like this is uncomfortable. Your nervous system is always talking to you throughout the day, and my nervous system was telling me, yeah, we don't really like this right now. And I'm sure that with many of the experiences that she's had as a woman, she probably have had a lot of men try to take her out, try to take her to restaurants, take her to nice places, but they've probably felt that too. And so again, I'm not blaming her. I'm just saying that this comes from a lack of self-awareness. So what do you do if you want to actually become high value? I know that's why you're on this video. You're not trying to learn ways to push men away. You want to learn ways to actually attract them towards you. And the kind of woman or the kind of guy that she was looking for was successful, ambitious, kind, generous, happy, serious, like he knows what he wants. What I'll tell you is that if you want those qualities, you have to be those qualities. You understand what I'm telling you? You have to be who you want to attract. You want a really kind person, you have to be kind. I'm sorry, but she didn't feel kind to me. Maybe this was a bad moment for her. Maybe this half an hour call was completely different than her personality, but usually, unless it's like some crazy situation that's happened in the recent, 24 hours in your life, you're going to be generally who you are at all times in the day. So she doesn't have that. You got to be generous, which she seemed like as soon as I told her the price, she's like, I wouldn't spend anything on this. So she's not generous with the money. You want to be, she wants, what else does she want? Successful. I think she's very successful. It seems like she is, at least. I'm not sure if she is. She's got a lot of followers on Instagram. Um, High consciousness. Maybe, I mean, if she meditates, maybe her consciousness it gets high and it gets low. But from what I know about consciousness levels, the higher you are in terms of consciousness, the less reactive you are emotionally. And she was quite emotionally reactive. Her emotions kind of shifted a lot throughout the call in a way that she probably wouldn't want them to. Because don't get me wrong, you're supposed to be emotional as a man and a woman, and there's nothing wrong with a feminine woman going through her emotions. But a true feminine woman lets her emotions ride out and she studies her emotions and she has regulation over her emotions. And if she goes out of line or she says something, she's very clear to say, this is how I'm feeling and this is why I'm feeling like that. I apologize if I came across the wrong way. And that's a self aware person. So think about whatever qualities you want in a man. Be very clear about this. I actually help women in my community, always attracting, link in the comment section down below. I help women go through this process to figure out exactly what they're looking for in a partner, become very clear about those things and those behaviors. And then ultimately, the goal is to learn those behaviors yourself if you don't have them. For me, when I wanted to attract a kind, ambitious, fit woman, I had to be those things. If I want a woman that is generous, I have to be generous. The world is a reflection of you, and it will only give you back what you give it. If you give it discipline, if you give it consistency, if you give it love, if you give it passion, it will give you all of those same things back. If you want to feel more love, be more love. Give yourself more love. Whenever you see a person, tell them I love you if you love them. Feel the love for people without saying anything. People can feel that I love them just by the way I act with them because I truly feel like that. This was something that took me years to get to. But when you adjust your thoughts, when you rewire your thoughts, which again is what I help in my community as well, always attracting, then that's how you make these changes. I'm really passionate about this stuff because people that are going through a hard time in their life, people that are suffering with stress, lack of self-confidence, um, lack of potential good partners, it's all in your hands. You can control it, but sometimes you just don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And a lot of the things that I've learned through the years by having coaches, by paying other people, having guides, having mentors, listening to thousands of hours of audiobooks and podcasts, the topics that I'm interested in, relationships, psychology, mental rewiring, fortitude, resiliency. Follow your path, right? Your path is going to line up as you choose to follow it. Stop thinking about the what ifs. Stop thinking about the kind of guys that you don't want. Stop thinking about the qualities that you don't like about yourself. And start thinking about the qualities that you want to adapt to become the kind of woman that you want to attract. If you want to attract high value, successful, kind, respectful, loyal man, you got to be that. You got to push to be the best version of yourself because then better versions of people are going to come and want to be with you and want to take care of you. So, this was a little bit of a ranting kind of video. I didn't really have a structure for it. You might have hated this video, you might have gotten offended, but if you take the lessons that I'm trying to give you here and try your best not to be like that woman on the call with me today, and again, I wish her the best of luck. There's no disrespect towards her. I feel sorry for her, honestly. If she was my sister, I would have a sit down with her and I would say, hey, I need to talk to you. I want to help you. Are you open to that? And if she said yes, I would tell her everything straight to her face. But she didn't ask for that. She's not my sister. And frankly, I'd rather help people that actually want to be helped. And the reason I'm so passionate about this stuff is because this world, the relationships that you have, is the most important thing that you have in this world, right? It's literally everything. Harvard did a study for 20 years and they found out that the best indicator of a high quality, happy life is the quality of your relationships that you have, your close relationships. And that starts with you. So you have a good relationship with yourself, family, friends, partner. If you do that, if you actually have that, you're good. Money is going to come, it's going to flow towards you. Because if you're positive and you're happy, you're more creative and you actually can make more money. Health is going to be better because the good people in your life will push you to be healthier. And you will push yourself because you love yourself. Wisdom comes because people want to have conversations with you. You listen, you speak, you learn from the world. So if you enjoyed this video, if you like this sort of content, do yourself a favor and subscribe to my page. I talk about this stuff on a weekly basis. I will be making more YouTube videos. My ultimate goal is to help you attract your dream partner and unlock your highest potential as a woman. I do coach men as well, but right now my biggest focus is women. Honestly, you guys are great to work with. You listen more, you actually engage more, you take the advice, and you're more grateful and I appreciate that. So if you listen to this, I hope you have a fantastic day. If you have any questions, put a comment down below. I respond to all of my comments. And if you want to actually get my help, and the best way to actually get my help is to be in the community with me. It's called Always Attracting. Currently offering a 7-day free trial, so do not miss that. You will get lots of value. I have an amazing course or multiple courses in there. We have a bunch of calls recorded, and we have 2 calls a week where I can actually coach you myself and help you get to the kind of life you want to get to. Okay? So, appreciate you sticking around, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.